Guys, I want to tell you a story about my client, Delton. He's a lawyer and he works 8, 9, 10, sometimes 11-hour days. So he's busy. He's obviously a highly capable guy. He used to play sports. He knows how to work out and stuff. But I got on a call with him a couple weeks ago and he's like, Jacob, like, I literally feel like I'm so pressed for time. My career is so consuming. I constantly just feel drained. And we talked and I was like, I kind of laid out this little, example. And he's like, right now I feel like I have 10 energy points and I feel like I'm using all of those 10 energy points just with my work and, coming home, seeing my girlfriend, stuff like that. But he knows, like, if he starts getting into the gym, he starts working out, he starts exercising, eating the right foods, that he can expand his energy limit. So instead of having 10 energy points to work with, he can have 12, 13, 14 energy points. So that way he actually feels like, okay, I can do more with the same amount of time. So after we had that conversation, we started working together. He became an optimizer and we created a very simple game plan. I got him on my Optimized Fitness app where he does super time and energy efficient workouts in the gym using machines, using the grip method, which is what we're going to do a lot today. So I can just show you why I think the grip method is the perfect option for somebody in his shoes, because it is very efficient and effective. We like efficiency. If you're a career focused type of guy, you like efficiency. We don't have time to waste. Okay. Time is the most valuable asset that we have, right? So what we did is we got him on the app. He does these gritty workouts. He tries to do them in the morning. Sometimes he has to do them after work, but we get him in 35 minutes, super smooth. Okay. Honestly, I'm going to be totally upfront with you guys. I've been working a ton lately. So I kind of feel like Delton right now, a little drained, but you know what? I'm going to practice what I preach. I'm going to follow the Optimized Fitness app. I'm just going to do the freaking grit method to a T, and I'm just going to push myself. And that's going to be the whole point of today's video. You guys are just going to be a fly on the wall. This is just a career focused type of guy getting gritty. Let's have some fun. Let's go. All right. So generally, let's say I get in the gym, right? I'm going to try to get in, get out 35 minutes, but still get an awesome workout. That's the whole point. So I normally have my app, right? So my app's going to have like little videos of different exercises I can do. I'll do a little screen recording. That way you guys can see the app on the screen as well, right? But I have the little videos. Okay. Generally, if let's say something's being taken, you can always mix and match the order. But what we're going to do is we're going to start on the hammer strength row. So if I ever don't have a video on it, I can always use the replace exercise feature. Okay. So right here, I have like a bank of over 200 exercises you can choose from. All right. And guys, I'm not holding anything back. I'm going to share all the sauce with you. I am not the type of dude that's like, oh, like I'll just share a little bit, but like I'm not going to give you all the sauce. I give you guys all the sauce. Everything I know, I'm going to share it with you. Why? Because I genuinely just want to be helpful. And we're going to go right here. We're going to go for the hammer. This is going to be the hammer strength row. Hammer row. Let's see where it is. All right. It's going to be right here, guys. There, it just popped up. Single arm hammer strength row. That's going to be this guy right here. This is exactly what we're going to do. Let's get gritty, guys. So you're going to notice a lot of traditional no pain, no gain programs. You're going to see this 3, 4, sometimes even 5 sets, 10, 12, sometimes almost 15 reps. When I hear that, I'm just immediately thinking time consuming and fluff, right? That is so much fluff, right? Like if building muscle was like cutting through a steak, when you're doing so much volume like that, it's like using a butter knife, right? So you're doing a ton of stuff, don't get me wrong, making a lot of cuts, but that knife is going to be dull. You're not actually going to make that much of a dent into the steak. But what I'm going to show you is how to build muscle like cutting through a steak with the steak knife. So we can do less total stuff because each thing that we do is going to be super effective and high quality. And it's going to start right here. Single arm hammer strength row. You'll notice right here on the app is almost always you're going to see this rep range between 4 to 8 reps. Okay, the reason why is it's only the last 5 reps before failure on a set that actually do anything for muscle growth. So if I'm doing a set to 10, 12, 15, and it only gets hard towards the end, you might as well just skip the part that didn't matter and just get right to the part that actually does matter. So that's why we're going to go a little bit heavier, use a lot of machines so we can just get right to the meaningful reps, skip out on all the junk reps. Okay, let's get gritty, guys. Can't wait to get gritty. Okay, it's a little bit too late. I'm gonna add a little bit more. Holy moly, something in my eye, guys. That's weird. All right, I'm gonna add more weight. I do not know what was just in my eye. Something's in there though. Maybe a little bug or something. I do not know. But you know what? The grit doesn't wait for anyone. Gritty time. Oh. You guys are not going to be witnessing any fluff today. I'm getting straight to that gritty saw. You know you did a good job. It's 8 reps, gets your heart start beating, okay? That was honestly a tiny bit too light. I generally try to get near failure at like 5, 6, 7 at the high end, but because like remember, it's only the last 5 that actually do anything for muscle growth. So if I do sets of 8 to failure, that's 3 reps that I didn't have to do. I could have been 3 reps more efficient, okay? And I don't know why you would want to be anything other than 100% efficient. Hey, do you like wasting time? Do you like wasting your energy, or do you want to make the most out of every moment? Like, you're already spending a lot of time with your work. Like, why would you want to just be coming here and just like do some fluff? Like, that's not going to be sustainable for you. That's probably a big reason why you've fallen off in the past, because you were probably doing a lot of workouts that were not sustainable. Like, you could have the best, most intense workout of all time. You drenched in sweat, you're feeling super freaking motivated, right? Maybe you're doing some kind of like group class or high reps, and you got this nice pump, and you look in the mirror, you just feel like the man. But if it's not something that you can sustain for weeks, months, years, decades, what does it matter? Like, you're not getting into working out so you can have a couple good workouts here and there and look good in the mirror. Like, want to get into working out because you want to reap those incredible fruits of just being a confident, muscular, healthy, fit person that's going to live for a long time and feel that genuine self-confidence and pride when he looks in the mirror, and lead by example for his family, and you know, like, doesn't feel insecure when he's around his friends, right? That's the real reason. So who cares about coming in and blasting your muscles, just stroking your ego, getting a good one-off workout every now and then? Wouldn't you rather have a routine that's just actually set up for your future self, right? It's going to be something that you can stick to for a super long time. That's what the grit can do. Is 35 minutes, super efficient, right? Super effective with their time and energy. That's what we like. All right, I'll stop yapping. You guys just tell me to stop yapping and I'll stop yapping. I could yap all day about grit. That's one thing that I could definitely do because I believe in it. All right, let's get the right side. Heartbeat, that's what I like. So what you guys will notice when you're doing the gritty method, every single one of these reps, I'm pulling as hard as I possibly can. So I'm not like making it go slow in my mind. Like, I'm really pulling like my life depends on it. But there's a heavy enough weight that even though I'm pulling my hardest, it's not gonna fly back. It's gonna look like I'm controlling it because it's so heavy that it's kind of has that involuntary slow contraction. That's what gritty reps are all about. Okay, it's really easy to do those on machines. So I'll be honest, guys, ever since Delton, the guy I was telling you about, lawyer, one of my new clients, started, he's been getting super consistent. He's showing up. He's like, loves how efficient the workouts are. He already plays a little bit of pickleball on the weekend, so he gets his cardio in. And then we're just cleaning up nutrition. He's eating a lot more whole foods, a lot less fast food, just good macronutrients. He's treating food as fuel. Like, a lot of people overcomplicate nutrition. They're like looking for the perfect bad diet. Should I go keto? Should I go carnivore? Should I do metabolic priming? Right? It's like all these different ideas. It's like really, like, it's funny because there's the 3 macronutrients: protein, carbs, fat. And then those 3 things I just described. Keto is like, oh, you got to go really hard on like fat, lots of fat. And then metabolic priming is that you got to go really hard on this carb. And then like carnivores, you got to go really hard on this protein. But guys, at the end of the day, food is fuel. Proteins, carbs, fats, they're all important. They're all good fuel. Just treat your body with respect and love. Build some good habits and energize yourself, right? It's not just about finding that perfect fad. Like, your search for perfection is actually you procrastinating. Okay? At the end of the day, it just makes sense. If I treat my body with love, respect, build some good habits from putting all the nutrients in my body, the proteins, the carbs, fat, right? You know what good meals look like, feel like, taste like. You know just by how you feel after. Like, yeah, I did a good job. I just put some good quality whole foods in my body. You'll know because your body will tell you, dang, I feel fueled and energized. So just seek that feeling, right? Actually build some habits that you can see yourself sticking to for not just like one off and then falling off and then going in and falling off, but like a routine that you can learn to just do like it's brushing your teeth, something natural. That will set you up for long-term sustainable success. That's what we're looking for. All right, guys, that's enough rest. So what I did right there, this was 45 plus 75. So that is 120. I did 120 on here, so I'm going to track it. 120. I did 8. Check that off. All right, now let's do another set on here, guys. I'm going to go for here. All right, I'm like said I was just going to be more focused and go all in on like just follow to T, but then here I am yapping. I just love talking to you guys. Sorry. I'll try to be a little bit more concise. That way you kind of see like the grit method in real time. All right, now we're going for 130. There should be a little bit less than 8 reps because I did a slightly heavier. One less rep. That's good. All the way right near failure. That's exactly what I like. All right. One thing I love about the gritty reps, guys, if you're ever a little bit drained, let's say from work, you've been working long hours, pushing yourself, right? Expanding yourself, your mind. You would think that coming in and working out would be like more draining and make you more tired. It's actually the opposite. Like, I'm always excited when I'm about to grit it up because I know once I get that a couple gritty sets in, it's basically like the equivalent of like taking espresso, but real espresso, organic energy right to the dome ski. That's what we like, right? All right, guys, let's get the right side now. Woo, solid. Super gritty, right near failure. Nice steak knife set. Now, is it effective? That was 130 for 7. Nice. Boom. Easy one, guys. All right, let's move on. Let's go inside, use some other machines. All right, guys, we got the first exercise donezo. So 2 gritty sets on our rows. We got the lats. Now we're gonna go for our machine preacher curl. Go for a little bit of biceps, guys. Generally, what you'll notice on like a lot of traditional programs, they're gonna have you just like blast one muscle group at a time. So maybe you've seen this before, maybe you've tried like doing a whole chest and triceps day, where the whole point you're always taught is no pain, no gain, right? So you're gonna do like 6, maybe 7 different exercises on just these 2 muscles, maybe 3-4 sets on each one. And by the time you get to the end of your workout, your muscles are just absolutely just blasted, right? They're aching in pain, they're exhausted, okay? And you might walk out thinking like, man, I did such a good job. Really, what I learned is it's really those first couple where you're training that muscle and it's like actually not fatigued yet, right? You're still feeling strong. Those are the ones where you get the best bang for your buck, right? So what you'll notice is we're not just gonna blast one muscle group at a time. We're gonna try to stay in that territory where we're getting the super good bang for our buck on multiple muscles during the workout, right? So it's gonna be more like full body or upper body where you're spreading the love. You're not just hammering one muscle at a time, right? Let's go right here. All right, going for the right, guys. E. 2. E. Goes to the end. See that, guys? See how we got right near failure? So failure is like, I couldn't have done another one. I got right to that gritty range. I know there's some guys, especially guys that are like in their 40s or 50s, they're like, Jacob, like, I'm not 20 anymore. I don't know if I can really train with that level of intensity. I promise you, I've trained 70-year-olds that can do the gritty rep. My client Jerry, he was like way older and he was like pretty much like a beginner, but even he could do gritty rep. I've trained every type of person, shape or size, and they could all gritty it up. So it's not about like, it looks super intense and hard, but really when you think about it, like if you were doing a set 10 or 12, your last few reps would look like that anyways. So we're just starting with the important reps rather than fatiguing ourselves to get there. So we're just gonna make it a little heavier and just get there earlier. All right, let's go for the left now. All right. Boop. Leave it to me. Start throwing plates all over the floor. All right, let's go for the left. Wow. Right near failure. So let's track that, guys. So this was actually the single arm variation. I had programmed the double, the bilateral. Generally for you watching this, I have a lot of my clients, especially if they're like beginner or intermediate, a lot of like bilateral where they're doing both arms at the same time. One, it's a little bit more time efficient. Also, it becomes a lot more important to incorporate single arm, single leg movements the more advanced you become for a very complicated physiological reason you probably don't care that much about. But just know, like, yeah, you can pretty much get away with just doing bilateral stuff for a super long time until you get like pretty advanced like me. Then it becomes a lot more important to incorporate single arm movement. But okay, we got 1 on there. Let me track that. So that was 45 plus 25 is 70, and we got 6. All right, we did 1 there. For the second bicep exercise, let's go outside and we're gonna do a different option. Follow me. Okay, guys, so we did for biceps, we had 2 total sets to do for the workout. I did the first one on the machine. I just felt like doing the second one on the dumbbells. You can always do that, to be honest. Like when you think of it, it's it's a lot of programming is kind of like math. But like, I just know, okay, I need to get 2 sets to failure on the biceps for today, because then I'll probably do another 2 sets to failure on the biceps in a couple of days from now. So it's not like the biggest deal in the world if I just feel like, oh, I did one on the machine. Sometimes you can just do 1 set on the machine and then just do another one on the dumbbells. That's what I felt like doing. That's what you're gonna do. All right, so I'm just gonna come right here for dumbbell curls. You guys have definitely done this, probably too light to be honest, but you're gonna notice I'm gonna go right here. I want to use this as an opportunity to show you guys an interesting idea. Okay, so I'm gonna go with both hands. I'm gonna get all the way to failure, to the point where I can't curl anymore, and you guys are gonna notice once I hit failure, I'm actually gonna be able to do an extra one on single arm. Okay, so why is that? This explains an important idea when it comes to muscle growth. When you hit failure on an exercise, it's not because your muscle like can't produce any more force, right? You actually hit failure on an exercise because your brain perceives a maximum tolerable perception of effort. So your brain actually perceives, okay, this is so much effort, like I'm gonna stop. And the reason this is gonna prove that I hit failure in my brain, not in the muscle, is because I'm gonna get to the point where I can't do any more. You would think if that was the case, that it was my muscle that hit failure, then there would be no reason why I would be able to do a single arm, right? But what's gonna actually happen is I'll get to failure with both arms, but then my brain perceives it's a little bit less effort to just curl single arm, so it'll let me get like 1 extra rep. I know that's kind of high level muscle building stuff, so if you didn't get that 100%, it's no big deal, but let's test the experiment and let's see if it's true. Science. You guys see that science? I told you guys. So there's no reason why, if it was the muscle that hit failure, then I would be able to do that. But you guys saw that in real time. Both, I couldn't get more than 4, but then I immediately was able to do 2 more reps single arm. It's because it's all about your perception of effort. That's what muscle growth is all about, right? That's why we do simple exercises that don't actually, our brain doesn't perceive them as that much effort, because it allows us to be stronger. And when it allows us to be stronger because our brain perceives it as easier, that allows us to make more gains from each thing that we do. That's how you can, in a real way, like actually create super efficient workouts. Like, I know you might be thinking, Jake, like, this is like cool, but my biggest reason for, you know, that I haven't gotten a good routine isn't because these nitty gritty scientific details. My biggest reason is just like, I don't have a way to set up my schedule, or like, you know, maybe some other reason. But I just want to invite you to consider this. Like, at the end of the day, the easier something is, the easier it is to turn into a habit. So if you can feel confident that, okay, I know, like, going into the gym, I can get an amazing, high quality, great bang for my buck workout in 35-40 minutes. Just that awareness and understanding that you can do that will give you the confidence and the courage to be able to turn this into a lifelong habit, which is what you really want. Okay, so that's why I know it seems a little bit esoteric. It seems a little bit like, how important is this really, like these little tiny details? But I think it's more important just understanding, like, man, I could have a way of training that can carry me over for the rest of my life, and it's just gonna fit so much better into my busy work schedule, right? And the reason I keep saying about busy work schedule is because every single person that I train are guys with a busy work schedule. So if you happen to be just like a guy, you're like, Jake, I'm actually like not, a career is not that important to me. I have like way more time than I need, and you know, this might not be for you. Okay, almost all my clients are just guys that are actually like high level types of guys, normally really value their time and energy, and they don't like fluff. They don't like bullshit. They just want results, outcomes. Okay, that's why I'm like showing you guys this method. That's for this, for you, not for those guys that just like are willing to, you know, come in here, you know, the ego meathead guys that are just in here, broccoli hair guys, right? That are just like, want to just, you know, get a good pump for Instagram, and it's not about that. Like, if you look at my Instagram, almost all of my posts, it's not going to be me just like flexing in the mirror, like, look at me. Like, I post some real valuable sauce, right? I'm mostly like, to me, working out is not just about, it's not just about the fruit, guys. Okay, so I like to use this metaphor of the roots and the fruits, right? Like, the fruits is like the appearances, right? The perceptions, right? Those are the outcomes, But to me, working out is not just about that. It's not just about those fruits. It's about the roots. The roots is like your own self-image, your own habits, your own values, right? It's like all the things that actually create the fruit. Yeah, so when you can kind of shift your mindset from like, hey, I have to do this just for fruits, just for outcomes, so that I can show off to others, so that I can look good in front of other people. And your motivation becomes very much of like, hey, how are people gonna perceive me? And you can switch that to the roots. It's like, hey, how do I want to perceive me? Who do I want to actually be? It's not just about what you have. It's like, who are you? Like every time you go in the gym, every single time you do a rep, it's not like you're just getting the muscle. It's you're proving to yourself that I am a type of person that is taking action. I am a growth-minded kind of person, right? I am the best version of me. And that's why, in my opinion, working out is so much more than what it can appear to be if you look at it through a superficial lens. Because I truly believe that this is our playground. This is our opportunity for you to prove to yourself that you are the best version of you. Prove to yourself that you are who you were meant to be, because you were not just meant to be a stagnant kind of person that's living up halfway to his potential, that's coming up short, letting himself down. If you're meant to be the type of person that is showing up for himself in his fullest, you know what I mean? And that's what you can prove to yourself every single time you're in the gym, is that like, I have the opportunity that irrespective of anybody else, irrespective of anything else that's going on in my life, I can prove to myself right now that I am the type of person that likes to show up for himself. I am the type of person that likes to make himself proud, that likes to grow, that wants to be the best version of me. And when you can have that roots focus, it's so hard to describe because of how powerful it is, but it's like having this foundation that is just impenetrable. It's like no matter what goes on in your life, no matter what storms come your way, when you have that roots and you know who you are because of what you've done and because of your virtue, because of your habits, because of your beliefs, because of the way that you view yourself, and because of all this evidence that you've accumulated that you are who you say you are. It doesn't matter what happens in your life. You'll always have that sturdy foundation that of like just the self-assurance, just the self-respect. And I truly believe for me, that's been the difference maker. Like before I even got in the gym, I did not have that foundation. I was always at the mercy of whatever else happened in my life. I was always at the mercy of how people perceived me. Like when I was going through a hard challenge, I would go into a super bad rut where I could feel really depressed for a long time. So I didn't actually have that foundation to rely on. Now I go through more hard challenges every single day, every single week than I used to go through back then, but it doesn't faze me. I'm not afraid of hard things anymore. I'm not afraid of challenges anymore because I've built this massive root system underground that I don't care if a storm comes down and knocks off some of the leaves, knocks down some branches. The roots are so strong that I know that it's always just going to continue to grow. So that's the metaphysical reason. That's the true reason why I'm a fitness coach. Like I'm not going to be over here just yapping about macros all the time, like talking about just these little nitty gritty exercise details. Like I'll be honest with you, I care way less about that than I actually care about the underlying philosophy. Now I'm going to share this with you guys. This might be a little bit weird to hear, but do you guys know your thoughts, whatever thoughts you think, those are the director and the driver behind the types of mood that you're in, the types of actions that you take, and whatever types of actions you take, that's going to determine what type of habits you build. Whatever type of habits you build, that's going to determine your identity, who you are, how you perceive yourself, right? And your identity is going to determine your entire life, what types of things you do, like who you get married to, what type of career you pursue, whether or not you choose to step out on your own, start a business, and all these things all comes from your identity, which comes from your habits, which comes from your actions, which comes from your thoughts. But you know what creates your thoughts? What directs your thoughts? It's your freaking philosophy. Philosophy is the ground zero. It is the first domino, right? And if you choose that I'm gonna have a philosophy of I don't really care, life is meaningless, right? It's not that important, or hey, I'll just pursue the next thrill, whatever makes me feel good, whatever brings me pleasure, or none of this matters anyway, right? Or like I've got to put everybody else before myself. My life's not about me. It's just about sacrificing. There's all these different types of belief systems and philosophies that you can choose to adopt. More than likely, the philosophy, like everybody has a philosophy, whether you consciously understand it or not, whether you chose it or not, you have a philosophy. You have some kind of belief system that you live by. More than likely, it was just instilled into you by your parents, religious leaders, whoever you surrounded yourself with when you were younger. For those of you that are more aware, that studies things, challenge your mind, right? Consider new ideas. Maybe you did consciously choose to adopt a philosophy, but I just want to invite you to consider that your choice of philosophy is probably the number one most important choice you can make in your entire life, because it sets the foundation for the thoughts that you think, and the thoughts that you think sets the foundation for the actions that you take, the habits that you build, the identity, and like we said, identity creates the destiny. So if you're not so clear about, hey, what philosophy do I want to live by? I would love to use this as an opportunity to consider adopting the optimized philosophy. Optimize in its real core is a philosophy. It's about being the best version of yourself. It's about choosing growth as a way of life, right? It's about having a vision of who you were called to become, the best version of you, and seeking to create congruence with your highest self, showing up for yourself, earning that sense of self-confidence. All these things that I yap about all the time, that is the optimized philosophy. That is something you can actually consciously choose to adopt. Say, I want to be an optimizer. I want to be somebody that lives into the best version of me. I want to be somebody that doesn't take the easy route, somebody that sets habits, somebody that has a vision of the highest version of himself, somebody that seeks to create congruency, right? If you can make that conscious choice, you could change your life with one decision. That was a big old yap from me, fitness philosopher style, but I don't know, guys. That's what's really just important to me is that. But anyways, let's get back to the lifting. My phone is overheated, temperature. So we'll just find a different exercise. No big deal. All right. Holy cow, guys. This is about to be crazy. I'm showing you guys a machine I've not done on the YouTube channel before, but this is the pendulum squat. This guy, I'm telling you, this guy can be a little tough and gritty in a good way. But I'm gonna load this puppy up. It's got a couple plates on each side. Music is bumping in here, that's no problem. All right. You guys, just like when it comes to philosophy too, you got to understand that there's always going to be so many conflicting beliefs out there. You got to be very careful about who you absorb ideas from. Always try to consider ideas from people that their fruits are similar to the fruits that you want, right? So like, for example, if you, like most of the things that I've adopted philosophically is because I've hired world-class mentors. Like one of my top mentors is like Dan Martell. He is like a guy that is literally like living like one of the most abundant, happy, joyful, just like prosperous lives I've ever seen. Like incredible business where he's making world-changing impact. He has complete financial freedom, right? He has like incredible friends, relationships. He has a great body, right? So he has all these things. So like, I'm much more open to considering ideas from somebody like that. So you got to think, well, what ideas am I going to believe? And who have I actually been listening to up to this point? Maybe you're just listening to your parents. You got to ask yourself, are my parents living the lives that I want to live? Maybe you're listening just to your pastor. Is my pastor really living the life I truly want to live? Like, guys, we might not have even 100 years on this planet. So your choice of what philosophy you're going to adopt, how you're going to choose to lead your life, like it's the most important choice you can make. It's going to be the difference between you actually seeking the life of your fullest life and dying with zero regrets and being like, man, I squeezed every drop out of life, versus living just a lukewarm life, an average life where you really play small, right? Come up short. You sell yourself short. You want to live that life? Like I promise you, when you're on your deathbed, like it's a pretty good idea to consider, hey, what types of thoughts do I want to think? Like, if you want to get on your deathbed and think, like, man, I'm so happy, I just was really comfortable. Like I'm just so happy, like I felt anxiety all the time because I was stressed, but I just took the easy route and I just scraped by and like just happy like I arrived on my deathbed just safely. Like, is that what you're gonna say? Like, honestly. Or would you rather get on your deathbed and think like, man, I'm so happy I left nothing in the tank. I gave it my all. Like I overcame the adversity. Like I showed up for myself. I lived into the highest version of me. I achieved abundance. Like when I say abundance, I mean a life without limits, like incredible relationships. Like that's what I'm going after. Like the best of all my values. Like I don't want to just like have a little bit of fitness. I want to be as fit as I can be. I don't want to just have a kind of good relationship with my family. I want to have the best relationship with my family. I don't want to have kind of a good companionship. I'm looking for the best companionship. I don't want to have kind of a good business. I want the best business I can possibly create the most impact I can possibly create. That's what I'm talking about, focusing on the roots, guys. It's just seeking to just achieve the best of all your values. All those things are important to you. Thinking, what can I do today? What type of habits can I adopt that would lead to me living out that version of me that is not playing small in any area, right? And when, at least for me, like I'm not impressed by a guy that takes steroids, that is just posturing on social media, like smoking cigars. Like if you ever saw me with a cigar in my mouth, you would know like I was probably a hostage and somebody, you know, somebody had a gun behind my back, because why would I ever put smoke in my body? Just so I could be perceived a certain way, right? Think about how contradictory that is. You'll see people that are focused on their health, but they're putting literally smoke inside their lungs, something that totally contradicts their values. Why? So that they can be perceived as some certain status, as a certain image. I'm not impressed by that. I'm not impressed by somebody that, like I said, takes steroids, is just trying to manufacture these fruits. I'm much more impressed by somebody that they're not actually focusing on what they have, how they perceive the fruits on their tree. They're just focused on actually becoming that person, right? Living with virtue. When I say virtue, virtue is putting your values into action. So if growth is a value, if growth is an important value to you, being virtuous would be choosing the route of growth every single day, showing up to the gym, pushing yourself, right? That's what I'm talking about when I say virtue. And I'm, like I said, like I'll be much more impressed by somebody that their focus is on being, and they just have things as a result of who they are. I'm not impressed by somebody that tries to put on an image or tries to, like I said, manufacture the appearance that they have fruits. So I know that's bullshit. Like I only listen to people that have that roots focus, and that's who I am. And like, I'm 23. I could very easily make it look like, for example, on Instagram, like I have all these different things, right? Like you can very easily portray yourself as a character of somebody that you're not, but I never do that. I understand I'm 23. I'm willing to build the root system. I'm willing to commit to integrity, to actually trying to be the best version of myself, not just have the things. I guarantee you, like I'll call my shot 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years from now. Like I'm the type of guy you're gonna be able to look at my Instagram and be like, holy crap, like Jacob is living an unlimited life. But it's not because that's my goal. It's because I know where my focus is, and that's just the natural byproduct of being a roots-focused type of person. That opportunity is available for you too. All right, that's enough yapping and philosophy for a second, guys. Let's get to this grit. So my quads are a little bit sore. I did the hack squat a couple of days ago, but that's not gonna stop me, guys. I'm still gonna get gritty on this guy. This is a good exercise, guys. This is hard though. This is definitely not gonna be easy. Let's see. So guys, there's an important idea. Maybe you've heard this before. You're the product of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. It's actually not true. There's actually a revision to that. It's you're the product of the 5 people that you compare yourself to. So that's why me, personally, I know what my aspirations are, to become absolutely world class. And when I say that, I mean like the highest version of myself that I have the potential to become. That is what I'm going after, like I just described to you. So I don't compare myself to anybody except people that are literally doing that. So like there's a very select group of people that, for example, like I only follow on my Instagram, I only follow my clients and world class types of mentors that I want to learn from and be like. So I've heard this quote one time. It said, think in decades, act in days, right? So if your mind can be 3 decades in the future of, hey, this is who I'm committed to becoming, not just next week, not just next month, but literally in 3 decades, what do I have to do today, right? What types of habits do I need to adopt? What types of skills do I need to learn? What types of environments do I need to put myself in, right? What types of people do I need to surround myself with? And you keep that vision in mind, and then you focus on today, trying to put yourself in a position where that will become an inevitability. That's the cheat code, guys. Like guys that are doing incredible things, like it's not a surprise to them, because that's what they've been living in their mind for so long. So you're gonna, in a very real way, apply this to your fitness journey. Like start thinking about, hey, who do I want to be, not just in the next week, but who do I want to be a decade from now? If you're very clear that in a decade from now, I want to be a super fit, shredded person, then you gotta let that motivate you. You gotta start actually showing up today, building the habits today that with enough time is gonna turn that into an inevitability, right? So that's why I would say motivated by vision, built by habit, right? All right, let's get this grit. This is definitely not gonna be easy. Oh, holy crap. Well, I got it though. Holy cow moly, heart pounding. That was good, gritty, intense. Woo. So I was like doing 3 sets on legs and 1 set. That's the goal, guys. It's not just about doing less, making more for each thing that you do. That's the gritty way. Holy cow. You know you did a good job on a gritty set. Hit 5 reps, gets your heart beating like you just did 3 sets. That's what you want. All right, so we did 1 on there. We'll do 1 on the V power squat. Just mix it up. So let me add a little bit of weight right here. 1, 2. You're gonna need to add a little bit more weight. Boy, this should definitely be gritty. There's this seminar that I listened to on audiobook. It's called You Were Born Rich, but there's this guy, Bob Proctor. If you're into like personal development and growth, you might know who he is, but he was like one of the top, basically like instructors and thought leaders in personal growth and just the power of your mind. And he like was mentored by like all the OG guys, like Jim Rohn, Earl Nightingale, like people like that. And he would go around and just go to all these different seminars, learning these new ideas, learning from people that were doing really well. Like that was the best. That's the reason why I know these ideas have merit. It's because people implement, take action on a lot of these ideas, and then they just are on chapter 1000 and they're sharing all the lessons and passing it down, right? But anyways, I listen to his seminar like all the time. And one idea that he shares is like, you don't have a fitness problem, you don't have a financial problem, you don't have a relationship problem, you have a self-image problem. So it's a really powerful idea, but that it's like you will always rise or fall to the level of your self-image. So like even guys that I've coached, almost all the guys that I've coached that don't end up actually creating the transformation, a lot of them have a very limited self-image. They think of themselves as an unproductive, lazy, procrastinating, unhealthy type of person. So it's very easy for them to quickly lose motivation because they're keeping that image of themselves in their mind. Like if you think that you're an out of shape person, why would you start doing things that fit people do? True, like think about it. Like if you really think this is just who I am an out of shape type of person. But it's like literally it's like having results that you don't like. And like I said, it'd be like, it's trying to like manufacture the appearance that you have different fruits without actually focusing on your roots of who you are, right? It's like trying to pluck off a rotten fruit, squeak it clean, put it back, rather than actually addressing your self-image. Your self-image is a big part of the roots, right? So a lot of guys that I've coached, if they would only be willing to actually create a new self-image, a new picture in their mind of who they really are, right? Then when they're showing up to their habits, like eating clean food, working out, there's no friction there. It's not like they're doing something that contradicts how they think of themselves. It's like, no, I have this new way that I perceive myself. So now when I'm doing these things, it actually creates this congruence. It feels frictionless, right? It feels natural. That's one of the big keys. Like that's one of the reasons why I was able to, start going to the gym is because I created this new picture in my mind that I'm not the procrastinator anymore. I'm the growth-minded type of guy now. I'm the best version of Jacob now. So it became very easy to be super consistent with my growth habits, right? Same thing when I started my business. When I finally actually started seeing success with my business, it wasn't because I just like started like taking action and all of a sudden one day I figured it out. No, it took me actually starting to recalibrate my self-image. I had to re-identify myself, like, hey, who do I want to become, right? And that's when I kind of created this vision of me being like this world-class type of guy that was creating a massive impact, helping people. And when I did that, it made it very easy to start showing up on camera, start pulling up my phone and talking to my phone and like providing value, helping people, being willing to courageously go offer my services to people because I had this new self-image. Right? That's the reason I'm motivated every day. That's the reason why I'm so consistent. It's not because I was born like that. I wasn't. It's because I created a new self-image of who I truly am. So when I do these actions, that's how I can take away the friction. Like if I showed up one day and I did bad habits, that's what would create the friction, right? So it's an important idea to think about. Is like, hey, does me working out, does this feel like friction? Always evaluate. If it feels like friction, your problem might not be the action, it might be your self-image, right? It shouldn't always feel like friction. You working out should feel like you're actually acting in alignment with how you think of yourself. That's what you want. So if you're out of shape right now, I would love to invite you to consider create like this new alter ego, this new version of you. Write it out on paper, right? Like your name 2.0. Start describing them. How do they think of themselves? What beliefs do they have? What types of habits do they have? Right? What types of people do they surround themselves with? What types of feelings do they feel? Right? And just start reading it. Start marinating on it. Start imagining it in your mind. Start telling yourself, this is the new me. That way, every single day you do what that version of you does, it's going to feel natural. It's going to feel normal. It's going to be easy to do it consistently. You never do that work of kind of creating this alter ego, this new version of yourself, and you hold this limited perception of yourself that I'm just the out of shape guy. I'm just the lazy guy. I'm just the guy that likes to eat junk food. I'm just the guy that likes to let himself down and cuts corners, makes excuses. Then you acting any different than that, that's what's going to create friction. That's going to, it's going to be hard, right? So it's just an important idea to think about, guys. All right. Alrighty, gritty squats are gonna be be the most hardest, guys. Like the grip method can make a lot of exercises feel a lot less painful, but for legs, I hate to break it to you, they're just as hard. All right, that's it on here. I'm gonna rack this and we'll go into the other room. So we did some back, we did some biceps, we did some legs. Now we're gonna go for some triceps. Okay, so we're gonna go for a single arm cable push down. Just like this, guys. So I like to use the cuff on the single arm. Normally I program for my clients is normally double arm, a little bit more efficient, a little bit better. Unless you're like an advanced guy already, then I might give you this, throw this in your program. It's gonna be just like this. Goody. What I love about the optimizers, all the optimizers are men of integrity. None of them are just wooed by perceptions. Like a lot of them, they're not impressed by people that are just like flexing, posing, stunting, posturing. They're impressed by real value. Like when they actually are not the types of guys that just conform, but they're the types of guys that seek truth. And they see, when they see value, they recognize it, right? So that's why like optimizers are a rare breed. They're not like everyone else. They're different in the fact that they actually show up for themselves and they're willing to stand out from the masses. They're not just gonna follow along with the crowd. They're willing to be different and be the best version of themselves. So shout out to all the optimizers. All right, let's get the other side. Right near failure, guys. Holy cow. All right. Whew. Great job, guys. I appreciate you sticking around and listening to me yap. Today's episode was a little bit more philosophical. I came in feeling a little bit fatigued. Just been working really hard lately. So, you know, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna lead by example. So exactly what almost all my clients experience this too. Most of my clients are not the types of guys that are just like feeling super energized all the time, because they're the types of guys that are putting the work in. They're the types of guys that are like, you know, providing for the family, or like they're ambitious. They're normally working really hard on their career. They're normally sticking to their habits. These are not the types of guys that are just like doing what feels comfortable all the time and like in a great mood 100% of the time. Because at the end of the day, if you're always in a great mood, that tells me that you're listening too much to your feelings and not listening up to your values. Like a world-class type of guy, a real optimizer, he shouldn't always be in a great mood. It's not always fun and doesn't always feel great to take actions that are in alignment with your values and are leading you towards a better version of you, taking actions for your future self rather than your present self. So sometimes the grit method is just what you need. That on those days, you can just come in, get your sweat on a little bit, feel strong, and just taking this shot of espresso that's in the dome. Feels great. Powerful vote casted that you are the best version of you. And every single time you show off yourself, you prove it. It's like you're just accumulating this evidence. Every rep is like another stick on that fire. Every workout is like a log, and you don't realize it. But as time passes, and as these sticks add up, as these logs add up, your fire just starts to rage and roar until eventually you just have this massive forest fire that can't be extinguished. That's the opportunity for you. If you're ready to build a freaking forest fire with me, go ahead, click the link to my calendar. Let's hop on a call. Let's build a freaking fire in your life. Let's help you build momentum that can't be stopped. Let's help you develop this impenetrable foundation. So booking a call with me, I want to hear exactly what's going on, where you're at, get really clear on what that best version of you is, and then we'll come up with a good game plan to get there. And if not, then go ahead, keep on watching some more of my YouTube videos. There's lots more value on this channel. I'll encourage you to stop procrastinating. Like, chances are, if you made it this long, you've probably been following me for a while, right? The only reason you'd be following me means you have optimizer within you. Normal people don't watch my content. Only select types of guys watch my content. So if you happen to be listening to this, understand it's for a reason. Understand it's because you have immense potential within you. And that's what I'm here for. Like, that's why I was placed on this earth, to roll up my sleeves, to get my hands dirty with you and help you actually put it into action. So it's the time to stop just dreaming and thinking about it. It's time to actually start implementing, because you're not getting any younger. So I'll see you on that call. Let's roll up our sleeves. Let's get gritty. Peace.